The pain, the pain, the pain of it all. Yes, Packers fans, the Green Bay Packers season is over. But don't fret. The future cannot be brighter. The Packers push the best team in the NFL to the utter brink. If not for a couple few mistakes here and there, the Packers would more than have likely won and advance to the next round. Now I know I'm going to have a bunch of dumbass San Francisco 49ers fans coming in saying, oh yeah, we won, we're just a better team. It's like, well, you were a better team tonight, but not for the whole game. For most of the game, the Packers were the better team. And if not, like I said, not for a couple more mistakes, Packers would have been right there, probably playing in Detroit next week. But now, as Packer fans, we all root like hell for Detroit because who's rooting for San Francisco? Unless you live in the Bay Area, let's be honest. But let's get into it. Let me know what you think down below. Otherwise, let's get into the game. Now, the Packers had many chances to win. But let's be honest. Did we expect the Packers to be in this position going into the season? No. I mean, I predicted early in the year that the Packers did have an outside chance to make the playoffs. Thought their team would be good enough, and that Jordan Love, given enough time, could be that quarterback of the future. And he clearly is the quarterback of the future for the next couple of years. It's just going to be happening. So if any people out there saying that Clifford should step in and take some drives for Love, nah, it's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. Love's going to get his big boy deal this year, I'm sure. Who knows? Maybe that last play at the end of the play might have shaved some millions off the contract, but he's going to be a Green Bay Packer for the next couple of years. So we might as well accept it and just root for him as best we can, because we all know, I've seen what he's done. He's been great up until tonight, and he still had a reasonably good night. I mean, other than a couple few errant throws, he had a decent night, all things considered. I mean, it was driving rain, it was on the road against San Francisco, a team that has had the Packers number for a long time. But the Packers played well for most of the game. Aaron Jones went over 100 yards. Just that big run that he had. If only he would have been able to finish it off and take it all the way to the house. I mean, for that drive to end so tragically with the Anders Carlson missed field goal. And as much as we hate on Anders Carlson, he's not going anywhere. They're going to work with him. They're going to try and get him ready for next year. They're just going to invest in him and see if they can get better. They're not going to waste a bunch of money on a kicker. Kickers are a dime a dozen. You can find them in there, or you can develop them properly, which is what the Packers want to go and do. Now, like I said, the Packers have many opportunities. First quarter, probably should have scored a touchdown on the first drive. And then the second drive, let's be honest, 49ers fans, Packers got that first down. The refs gave them a horrible spot. Didn't even bother to look at the play. The Packers clearly got a first down. Should have ended up scoring a touchdown and been up by 10. Then we had in the third quarter, there were several drives. Packers coming out that big touchdown to Bo Belton after another terrible interference penalty by the 49ers. Bo Belton had a great catch, and then Packers got a stop. Brock Purdy was nearly intercepted like 3 times tonight that I could count. And the Packers had 2 drives, one that ended in an interception for I Love, which, to be honest, looking back at it, I don't know if there's anything he could have done for it not to be an interception. Even if that ball wasn't tipped, probably still goes as an interception. Then there's another stall drive, or 49ers take the lead, and I guess the Packers were able to get the lead back again, but it just felt like in the fourth quarter that the 49ers were gearing up for a big run, and sure enough, they ended the game on a great long drive with many great throws by Brock Purdy, many great catches, and the 49ers deserved the win. But to say that the 49ers won by dominating the game, they did not. Packers were the better team for the large portion of the game. If not for a few mistakes here and there, the Packers are more than likely playing next week. Now, there's lots of things to work on, but the future is so bright. If you're a Packer fan out there, don't hang your head low. Do not hang your head low. Think high. Think glass half full. The Packers have a bright future. They're the youngest team in the NFL, and it's only going to get better. Now, just imagine if we get rid of Joe Barry, get a competent defensive coordinator in there, even though, who knows, it might be our luck that he gets to stay around, even though he shouldn't. Andrew Carlson is probably coming back. Who knows what's going to happen? Some of the defenders. Who knows if Eric Stokes can ever come back and be the healthy guy that we thought he could be coming out of Georgia? Darnell Savage, who knows if he returns? We know Bakhtiari is probably more than likely gone. And some other things here and there, but a little bit more of the game. Like I said, Aaron Jones had over 100 yards. He was really good for most of the game. They kind of moved away from the running game in the third quarter and started to depend a little too much on the pass, even though Jordan Love was making good throws here and there. And there was just times where it just felt like the play calling broke down. There were some bad throws, just some bad plays. And, thank God for Eric Wilson. The game could have spiraled out of control after that. After Keyshawn Nixon had that great return, he fumbled, and Eric Wilson just slid down, pinned that ball to his shirt on his jersey, and really kept the game alive. There are just times here where the Packers clearly should have taken advantage, but they're a young team, so I don't want to be too hard on them. They push this 49er team, probably the best team in the NFL, to the brink. I know there's going to be 49ers fans that are going to come in here saying that we're just better than you, and yeah, today you are the better team. But the Packers, with some adjustments here and there, a new defensive coordinator, some new players here and there, another great draft. Packers are going to go into San Francisco next year, or maybe even better yet, host a playoff game, and finally defeat the Red Menace known as the San Francisco Giants. That maybe I'll be wishful thinking. I don't think it is. Packers have a lot to be hopeful for in the future. Sadly, we probably saw the end of A.J. Dillon. We didn't even get to see him tonight. He'll probably go away. My wish list for running backs to replace him would be number 1, Blake Corum coming out of Michigan. That he would be a perfect selection for the Packers. Would they be able to get him maybe in the mid-third round? Or late second, maybe. I don't think he goes in the second, but maybe he goes. Somebody tries to push him up there, but there's some things the Packers can do in this offseason. Maybe they can make a few defensive splashes in free agency. We know Goody's going to be around for a while. The past couple of drafts classes have been pretty darn good, and we have nothing but high hopes for the rest of the year. Now, of course, they're going to have to come back and repeat what they did this year. Love's going to have to stay where he's at and not fall off. That would definitely be a bummer if that happened, but Packers have a bright future. Aaron Jones is still going to be around, or should be around for hopefully another couple years. He looks better than ever. He looks healthy. He looks great. He hits 5 straight 100-yard games, tied for the longest streak in Packers history. Or actually, it is the longest streak in Packers history. I don't remember. Let me know in the comments below if I made a boo-boo there, but I'm pretty sure it's the longest 100-yard game streak for running back in the Green Bay Packers history, which is amazing considering all the great running backs the Packers have had. For that never to have happened, that's quite a feat, especially for someone that was supposedly getting towards the downside of his career. He's been great. And again, there's just nothing but high hopes. Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, Romeo Doubs, Tucker Kraft, Luke Musgrave, and maybe, just maybe, Christian Watson. I still think he still has a role to play, even though he only had one or two catches tonight. He can still run misdirection. He's just not a long-time solution for the Packers. Probably try and get a trade for him, try and get somebody else in there, maybe get some more draft picks and draft another wide receiver, because I just don't think you're really going to get a lot for the Packers with somebody that's injured all the time. And maybe, just maybe, they'll find a solution to his hamstring problem during the offseason, although I have my doubts for sure. Jordan Love is going to be around, and if you can keep improving and getting better. And I know that last play at the end, he didn't need to make that throw. He could have tried to pump fake. He could have tried to check down, or even just thrown away. He'll live to fight another day. But it's all part of the learning process. All great teams have their nemesis. All great teams take their lumps on the road to a championship. The Packers have a bright young future, a great young team, and they have their sights set on greater things next year. And the Packers maybe, just maybe, can make it to the Super Bowl next year. I know a lot of you, or some of you, probably laugh, saying that's crazy, but Packers weren't even supposed to be in the playoffs this year. A couple years ago, the 7th seed didn't even exist, so the Packers wouldn't even be in this position. The Packers were slated to finish in 4th by a lot of pundits. Like, oh, Bears are finally going to be above the Packers. The Vikings, the Lions, they're all going to be above the Packers. But the Packers were 2nd place, or just whooped the asses of the fraudulent Cowgirls, and pushed the best team in the NFL to the brink. Packers have a bright future ahead. A couple mistakes fixed up here, and they could have won or at least made it to overtime. But I'm going to think very positively going into the future. Packers have a bright future. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Let me know what you think the Packers have for the future, what they should do in the offseason. Going to keep putting out more Packers content, but probably put out some more polls on what I can do once the football season goes down, what other sports I can focus on in the meantime, because it's as fun as it is to predict draft picks with the Packers. It's just so hard to predict. I could probably give a mock draft out there here or there, but it's just not my thing. I more so like to actually follow the actual action, but we'll see. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. But other than that, it's a great season. No need to hang your head low. Think for the future that is very bright, very bright, up into the stars. And have a great day. God bless, and go Pack Go.